Every relationship carries a hidden tale, and every tale carries its own weight. She said it as if she were talking about nothing important. I'm moving in with Ryan. It makes sense financially. I paused, coffee halfway to my lips. Her voice was casual, almost breezy, but her eyes slipped past mine. Ryan, her closest friend, the one she always insisted was like family. I didn't flinch. Didn't ask questions. I simply nodded. That works out just fine, I replied. Her brows flickered in surprise. She had been waiting for resistance, a fight, maybe even desperation. Instead, she found calm. Inside me, something shifted, but it wasn't rage or sorrow. It was finality, the soundless closing of a door I hadn't realized was open. She left early the following morning, humming like nothing in the world had changed. I stayed on the couch long after the door clicked shut, listening to the silence she left behind. On the table, her mug remained, lipstick faint on the rim. A cheap shade of red I'd never seen her use before. It didn't belong to the woman I knew. Or maybe it did. Maybe it belonged to the stranger she was turning into. I opened my laptop. Ryan's profile was locked, hers wasn't. A new photo stared back at me. Their dinner from last night. She had sworn she was working late. In the curve of the wine glass, Ryan's smile gave her away. I didn't save it. I didn't need to. Pictures like that carve themselves into memory, permanent and sharp. I played along. Sent her gentle messages, asked about her day, listened as she complained about bills and praised Ryan for being such a helpful friend. Every word was a lie disguised as truth. Every lie was another layer of distance between us. And I let it stand. She thought she was careful. She wasn't. She began setting her phone face down, locking it tight. She wore that same cheap red lipstick every time she claimed she was heading to the gym. At night, she no longer reached for me. And I noticed. I had already started keeping quiet records. Screenshots of her messages that didn't match where she said she was. Bank statements with charges at places she never mentioned. Her signature on a lease with him, signed weeks earlier. She had already left in every way that mattered. She just hadn't said it aloud. That was fine. When someone shows you who they really are, the game of pretending ends. The undeniable proof arrived on a Thursday. A hotel receipt in her email, 2 nights, 1 room, paid for with the card I'd given her. I stared at the screen, not furious, not stunned, just done. When she walked through the door later, she looked glowing, her hair still damp from a shower she hadn't taken here. She kissed my cheek and asked about dinner. I simply handed her my phone, the receipt on display. She froze, all color draining from her face. I lifted a hand before she could speak. Calm. Don't. I know already. Her lips shook, words spilling out fast. Excuses, explanations, apologies. I didn't listen. My decision had been made long before. You're moving in with Ryan, I said evenly. She nodded, eyes filling with tears. For financial reasons, I echoed. That broke her. She crumbled, sobbing, trying to reach for me. I stepped back. I told you, I said quietly. That works perfectly. Confusion crossed her face until I added, I ended this lease. It was never yours. My name, my money. Notice went in last month. Shock widened her eyes, horror settling in like a slow tide. You'll stay with Ryan now, I said. Starting tonight. Her knees almost gave way beneath her. She begged, called me cruel, her cheap red lipstick streaking with tears until her face barely looked like hers. I went to the closet, lifted the suitcase I had already packed, and placed it by the door with care. She stared at it as though it were a coffin. At midnight she left. No final words, no apology, just the sound of wheels scraping against pavement as she pulled the bag away. I stood by the window, watching her shadow slip into the night, dragging the weight of what she'd chosen behind her. I felt nothing. No triumph, no sorrow, just the deep quiet that follows a storm. I locked the door, turned out the lights. In the dark, I whispered to no one. She wanted freedom. She has it. Then I went to bed, and slept more peacefully than I had in years.